So good. Made them nice was they weren't over seasoned.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
Smoke. All right, we're back on again. We are now mid-afternoon. Party is leaning, nudging, winking, coughing, and otherwise suggesting a northward trajectory. Do we have a game plan? We just wander around this giant desert. Do we have any particular place we're trying to get to?
I would assume that Lumo has an idea of where to start, but I'm not entirely sure.
Well, Lumo would be trying to get into all the different places that you can't be seen. It's really hard to find those people. But he'd be going to all the hiding places he's ever been to.
All the little hidey holes.
Mm-hmm.
We do know that we were on the eastern half of the Badlands as we were kind of intersecting with Carr and Izzy as they were just trying to traverse the edge of the desert.
Should we take some food for your people, Lumo?
I mean, they'd just stash it away somewhere. I mean, it's not unwelcome.
We are going into the desert. We have some endless water. That could be.
Yep.
But we also know something about the Badlands specifically. But we've got our endless water. Something about magical creation of water and food.
We do?
Yeah, I vaguely remember it. We can't magically create water or food, can we? Does our endless water things work?
You can find out.
Well, I guess we will.
Yeah, I legitimately don't remember that.
I barely do.
Yeah, it was way at the beginning when Carr tried to make magical food and water. Because y'all were shipwrecked crossing the desert.
Mm-hmm.
And you, if it hadn't been running into Steen, who shared some of his food and water from his little cave that he'd found, you guys would have been in a pretty bad spot. Because he had the ability to create food or water, but it didn't work.
I asked Steen then, what do we need to survive? Our desert tracker expert, Captain Crunch.
God damn it.
Yeah, it looks like I've got like 19 days of rations on me. But if there's anything else we need, I would definitely pick that up before we head out.
Oh, Stan usually just killed whatever wildlife you could find and ate roots and killed lizards. Numa would know how to survive in the Badlands better than Steen would as a group.
But the endless decanters would work in the Badlands, right? That's why they have them.
Yep, because they themselves are enchanted.
Right, okay.
And I didn't even have that when I was in the Badlands, so.
Were there any other spells that we had noticed didn't work, or was it just creating food and water?
That was the only ones that didn't work when we tested, like that were tested and didn't work.
Okay. Okay, so before we go, I'll pick up a couple extra days rations, so I'll have 25. I'm assuming I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll follow suit and do the same.
Words, yeah.
There should be plenty of ability to do that from what they got on hand here. Each of the garrisons are provisioned to send, a brigade of people into the actual desert, and a lot of them in plate mail. So
Yeah, any other, like, clothing? Is there any particular clothing that would be better for the desert that they might have for their scouts or whatever?
you can kind of see how, like on Steen's portrait, how he's all wrapped up, scarves and hoods and anything else that can help, protect against the sun itself.
I did pick up some fabric way back when in a sewing kit, so if there's anything fairly basic that we need like that, I can probably supply some of that myself. So if you guys want some of those scarves and things, I can pass out some of my fabric.
Sure.
Chop it up as needed.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Tenaria is pretty rough terrain, but we haven't had to spend more than a couple days at a time actually out in the sun. But where we're going is literally out of the frying pan into the fire, kind of.
Yeah, I guess I'd just ask them if there's any other tips they have for surviving out in the Badlands, any other gear that we might need. Because they would, I'm used to water, they would all know better than I do.
Put some extra padding underneath your feet.
Mm-hmm. Basically, like pot holders under your feet, under your shoes. Sand, like so. Mm-hmm. Like you as a kind of example of comparison, the Tenarian Desert is hot. 100 F to maybe 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Not unlike a lot of the Middle East. The Badlands is like 140 degrees F. You can literally cook beef to 15 degrees heavier than that and eat it.
That's where Steen would recommend a typical shamag that he wears all the time, or a robe.
Chapstick?
I'm a rock. I'm okay.
I'm guessing the leather armor is probably not going to be particularly comfortable. Or any armor.
Better than plate armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so usually those that wear plate actually have lots of extra padding underneath, that kind of stuff, because otherwise it'd be like your steering wheel in the hot summer day.
Mm-hmm.
Worn all the time. That'd be no good.
Or the seatbelt. Ugh.
Oh yeah, the metal seatbelt buckles and
the worst. Then we do the right thing. Why am I getting burned for it?
Yeah,
Typically,
I'm kind
really,
of thinking if it's really too hot, Izzy might just not wear her armor, like pack it away.
I mean, leather armor really shouldn't be much of a problem unless you get soaking wet and then go out into the desert. Then that's a problem.
Yep. So plenty of water. Protection from the direct rays of the sun. Anything to protect your extremities. Your feet on hot sand. I mean, it's gonna feel like walking on, like the burning embers. I would not suggest, you know, thong sandals or anything.
No.
See, Steen wears a skill suit, so he's fine. And if you don't get the reference, it's a Dune reference.
Yeah, so just making sure that we're all outfitted with that stuff before we head out, and then I think Izzy's good to go anyway.
Okay. I said, looking at the big map, there's not there is no map of the Badlands. Both physically, I don't have one, and neither does anyone in the game either.
The
But
whole concept of maps is new to Lumo, anyways.
based on at least what you've talked about and information Lumo can share about how often they travel, where they travel, that kind of stuff, you could expect that most people tend to wander somewhere around in this circle. I think that's possible. I just think the difficulty will be is what do you like? Usually, you put landmarks or roads or thing like as a way to know where things are.
Yeah, well, like if there's any major valleys, like we saw in that illusion that the Magister put, or I don't know, dead trees or caves or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Try to put them the best you can as far as knowing what direction you're going, and making sure you're there, trying to get some kind of semblance of scale. And when you run across
Yeah.
stuff, yeah, that's you can try to mark something out like that. All right, so we're gonna leave from the garrison, head off into the Badlands themselves. I'm gonna doodly doop us a little bit as we make way on our travels. It'll be actually a few days of just arduously hot and terrible, not fun, just traveling across sand. Takes a good bit of skill to make sure you stay going the same direction, so travel is somewhat slow. Otherwise, you've already, found a couple of times where you've kind of caught yourself wandering or even circling a bit due to having. It'd be different if it was just straight flat, but the sands and winds rampage pretty heavily, and there's quite a few dust storms. Even in the short period, these first few days of travel into the Badlands, you've had to seek shelter from some, and as you as things clear, you notice that the landscape has noticeably changed after the storm passes through it to some degree. I mean, things are going to be the big peaked dunes. They tend to still be there, but a lot of the other small slopes and divots and things that you could kind of use to place a lot of the smaller scale stuff just alters as you go through. So it'd be very easy to get turned around sideways, do circles, if you're not extremely careful.
Would it be any easier to travel during the night as opposed to the day? Like, did the dust storms settle down at night at all?
Not particularly, but the stars make a good guide as well. I mean, the sun does to a degree, but it's also a little disorienting, and so it's hard to tell exactly where it is, and trying to keep yourself going in a particular direction, because it's not exactly perfectly like east-west, arcing over. So it's not like you can just like hold your arms out and stay perpendicular to where the sun is at any given point in time to make sure you stay north. So you always have to kind of judge it a little as it arcs around. The stars being further away can be a more stable guide.
It'd be less hot at night though too, right?
Significantly.
Hopefully.
Significantly, but dangerously cold also. Deserts get really cold.
Yeah, it's a pretty major shift in temperature from the day to the night.
Dusk is when we travel. Or rather, my people travel.
Yeah, dusk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd be following Lumo's lead then.
On the larger scale, to try to move from one place to another place. Yeah. So yeah, through some bits of there's dawn and dusk, and some in the night, and you try to take shelter as you can from some of the storms across. If it's blowing west, you try to get on the east side of a big dune and hunker in, and very few, at least at this point, of any kind of like hard rock or caves or any crevasses. I mean, none of that stuff is very common this close to the border. It's usually very, very loose, shifty sand. As you come to what would be your dusk travels on the third full day into the Badlands, a particularly nasty storm is coming forward, sweeping across, and you look for suitable shelter, but in this particular area it's been rather flat. It's somewhere off to your northwest. You can see several peaked dunes kind of clustered really close to one another, but in the kind of area you're at, it's been relatively flat, and so where you are is not going to be suitable for the storm itself.
Do we try and make for the dunes?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And away!
It looks almost like you're almost at the collision of two storms, as there is something looming from both the west and the east, and they look like they're barreling down at you almost directly from the east and west. The dunes themselves that you spot in the horizon are more north than northwest, but they are kind of off in that direction a little bit.
How often have I seen these in my travels? How often have I seen storms collide like this?
It's not common when they don't. It's not very often that they collide. They definitely come from east and west often enough that you get the aftermath of one swiping over and then the other coming the other direction, which can make shelter and those kinds of things quite difficult. But when they actually collide, this is where you get almost, your effectively your sand tornado kind of tornado alley kind of effect. It's very dangerous when they do. They usually people caught in them very seldom survive. It's one of those things that specifically that you have to avoid this. It's bad.
All right, I'm gonna grab my rope out of my bag and quickly dash in between companions and tell them each to hold on as we move towards the dunes.
Okay. And basically tethering everyone so no one gets lost in the...
I'll tie it onto my belt.
Alright, so you start trucking your way, the winds start picking up, and just some dust is just generally thrown around. As you start to reach, start getting closer and closer to the dunes, you can see what you thought from a great distance was a, just more of like the dust storm itself coming over. But from the other side of the dunes, as you start to get closer, you see smoke coming up from the middle of what is this ring of these individual pitched dunes.
How much smoke? Like something, like a building is burning, or like somebody's lit a campfire?
It'd be more like bonfire than campfire, at least from your perspective.
I don't suppose your people tend to have big bonfire parties, do they, Lumo?
Rarely. This is probably not what we want, but I mean, it's better than a storm. Keep going.
They tend to not have that many bonfire parties because there's not many trees.
And party and means celebration. Not often many celebrations.
And he's passing out the rope. When he did that, I cast guidance on Izzy. Just a D4 to ability check.
Okay, thanks.
And whoever's in front of me, I grab the rope with one arm, wrap it around, and grabs the person in front of me because I'm very little. I
You
don't
hold
want
on
to
to
get lost.
you can hold on to me.
Thanks.
I have a uncanny ability to walk on sand as if it was nice walking
Okay.
ground.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
it doesn't have
Hook on to
difficult
steam.
terrain like most
Yep.
do. In the deep nasty sand.
Did you want me to go check it out before we run into something that we don't know is there?
If it is our people, I prefer to be the one to make that contact.
Okay, well, let's get a little closer first, just in case.
At this point, you started making your way. You've gotten fairly close to the outer dunes. As you start to begin to get closer, you can see that these dunes themselves form like a little bowl, inlet of kind of protection, and from within that, the smoke is billowing up and over.
Oh, and the map hasn't loaded for me at all.
It'll take a bit. It's probably a big
Okay.
map.
Okay.
It is called 4 Desert Assault, so when it loads, I'm sure there's like nice comfy couches
Ooh, nice.
and a smoothie vendor.
Smoothie vendor, snow cone,
Mhm.
tropical ice
So-
action going on.
So we would be assaulting dessert vendors. Got it. Makes sense.
It's just misspelled. It's dessert assault, not desert
Yes.
assault.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I always get those backwards.
Keep throwing the pies. Pie.
So by the time you make it to about the point on the map, if you can get to that point. If
Yep,
you can see
I'm
it.
loaded.
Let's see the map.
By the time you get here, it's not even minutes away from the storm being like the storm is collapsing on you kind of at this point. And you can see that the dunes themselves are noticeably like fending off a good bit of it in this inlet. So we going to go forward as a group, or did someone like as it's collapsing here, visibility, at least on the outer ring, anything outside of the dunes circles, visibility is pretty low. Like instead of being your normal, pretty expansive view, we're down to 15 feet of visibility or so, just because of the sheer amount of dust and sand and even trying to see the 15 feet away while we're still out there in with the winds and sand hurts your eyes, and you can feel like you're literally being sandblasted.
Can we get up to the base of the first dune, and then maybe one of us can see what's on the other side?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Guess I'll lead the way.
Yeah, we're all kind of tied together at the moment, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So inch your way up to go ahead and make it to the edge of that dune there. And even hitting just the edge of the dune here, you get a bit of reprieve from the western storm as it clashes in, whereas you're still kind of getting blasted from the east a good bit. It seems more now that you can kind of get a. It seems more like it's kind of like swirling around. It's really hard to tell where the real directionality is, but now that you've got up against one area of shelter, you can kind of get a good judge. It seems like that they're blowing in more from the northwest, or the west, sorry, and then the northeast coming in that way. So like west coming in from the west and coming in from the northeast seems to be the real directionality of the storms.
So do you want one of us to check it out, or do you want to all go in together?
Well, I will use Pass Without a Trace.
I think we should go together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think the storm should cover us at least a little while as well, so let's do it.
Pass Without a Trace does not have a spell, does it? Like,
It's just plus 10 to all stealth rolls while we're within range of you.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, 30 feet.
So if y'all want to roll stealth, let's see how we're doing. And which way are we? So we're creeping around this dune, but which way are we going?
Hey! Look at that!
I'm thinking so it takes us kind of in between these two, because either way that'll give us a little bit of shelter even if we don't make it all the way in, right?
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
So these are all missing their +10, so they're all 20 or higher. Okay.
Except for Steen.
Except for Steen.
Oh, no, has the. Oh, that's. He's just bad at it. Okay, I got you.
No, I dropped it. I rolled a 14. It just decided it wasn't the right number for me. I don't know why.
His is an 18. Okay, so, and sorry, which way were we going again? North, or trying to go up and over it? Or are we going like down and around, like around the dunes?
Yeah.
Just around, yeah. This little dip here.
Yeah, I don't know if I can draw on this or.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, you need the engine.
Yeah, I know, right? Like some of this, especially the active
Line of sight.
well, line of sight and weather would be really sweet right now. Okay, so you're able to kind of creep around. So sitting on it looks like a giant log is a huge humanoid-looking giant who's roasting some kind of animal carcass over a spit on top of a giant campfire. Within, now that you've kind of made it on both sides of the dunes, here on the inside it actually looks relatively peaceful. Only a few big gusts coming through. You can see flapping the fire itself, fanning it off to one side, but there's a huge pile, looks like a giant bonfire. But it really, that giant bonfire seems to be more like just a campfire for this giant.
It's all relative. Well, I'm gonna roll a history check and see what I know about these guys.
You and Lumo would both probably know that there are a few tribes of sand desert giants, earth giants, that do usually roam. Very seldom do they roam together. They're usually just a couple of singular entities that most people try to avoid. They're usually pretty big, pretty powerful, but they're usually quick to temper.
And does it seem to have noticed us at all?
Not as of yet. Nope.
So Izzy's probably just like wide-eyed and looks over at the others and is like, "What is that thing?"
We could wait out the storm. I could put a hut up and we could just kind of hide here until the storm passes.
We can always ask him if we could share the fire.
Yeah, but if he's not friendly, I'd rather stay here till the storm passes.
Can we make it look like a little sand dune?
Sure.
Dread, with my people consider this thing, like you said, short-tempered. Does that mean that it's not exactly malevolent, just a big ball of temper, and like it's not evil, just defensive?
Just angry.
If you pump it in the chest, it's gonna punch you in the face.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
but not evil, right? They're just they every now and then, there's actually been dealings with the desert giants, as they trade for one bit or another, as they're often looking for certain things, but they are. It always has to be such a very delicate manner. A meeting never done near a hidey hole or anything like that. It's not like you're on cordial terms, but you can work with them.
Okay.
But sometimes working with them does turn south.
We're going north.
Tires are gonna make that one too. So the real question is Lumo just gonna walk out there and be like, "Hey man, can we share your fire?" Or isn't he?
They're also known to be paranoid. Not just quick to temper, but they're also known to be paranoid. So that was the other.
Well, that's a
that-
horrible
that I had.
combination.
How much shelter does this area seem to give?
Where you're standing still not great. You're still kind of getting blasted a little bit, but more in the depth of the bowl where he's at. Significant. Especially even from the storms coming from both directions.
Okay, my only worry with putting up the hut is that unless we're in a place that's already sheltered, we might get buried before morning.
Well,
I didn't even think about that.
whoever is on watch then just has to, clear the sand off to the side. Maybe use our decanters to blast it with water so that the sand gets cleared off.
Yeah, because he won't notice water.
Do you guys know if these creatures, giants, do they speak common?
Lumo would know, yes. That the answer is yes.
I could try and make him a peace offering, and we could try and just take a little spot a little bit further in this sheltered area. But again, I'll follow your lead. This is not my area of expertise necessarily.
Is there any vegetation around here?
None of note.
Okay. Because in my bag, I put, like when we were in Tenaria, I harvested a Tunarian cactus or bristly plant, whatever is in my, I just have that written down in my inventory.
Right. Yes. It's like a brush or something. Or no, I don't remember actually when you did it, to be honest.
I did it around the time we were fighting the lich dogs or whatever the hell those things were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think it's more like the cactus.
Okay. All right. I would pull that out as potential peace offerings type of stuff. Here, vegetation. Have a nice house plan.
Do they like these?
This is like this dude's home. He'd love it. He might even grow here.
Carr gives a almost half smile at that, thinking, well, one way or another, I want to see how this turns out.
and I could water for him with my decanter. The more Lumo talks about this, the better idea it sounds to him. And if it doesn't, then I run. I'm really good at that.
Do you want me to go with you?
I don't want to outnumber them. They're pretty skittish.
Whatever you think is best.
Lumo's going to untie his rope from him, and he's going to step out. And he's going to shush the people behind, shush people back behind the dude.
Like back
bef-
there?
Yeah, something like that.
Before he leaves, I want to cast. I'm not sure how this is gonna really work, but Sanctuary. Yeah, I'm gonna cast Sanctuary on Lomo.
Okay.
Okay, off I go then. I'm gonna put my hand into my armpit and make a fart noise with my armpit.
What goes in storm?
Just a little folk seeking shelter.
Now is not time to trade.
We're not looking for a trade, but I do come with a gift. Would you like a cactus? I'm gonna hold out the cactus.
Bartering skills.
What I want with tiny plant.
You could use it for decoration, or you could use its little needles as a toothpick, or a back scratcher.
What I do with back scratcher.
Lumo's gonna turn his back to him and show him.
You funny little people. Why you do this thing?
All we want is to stay in this place until the storms go by, and then leave.
You cannot have this place. This is my place.
Oh, it will still be your place. We just want to be in it for a short amount of time.
But my little pets live here.
Um, well, we'll give extra space for your pets. How much space do they need?
You're very small. The pets are bigger than you.
So it's almost like I'll be not occupying very much space at all then.
Small. Yes. You're small. Don't be stupid.
Lumo is going to take out his quarterstaff and draw a circle in the sand about to like 12-foot diameter. Could I have this space for a night?
Don't step on my pet.
Lumo starts poking the ground. Where's the pet? I didn't mean to.
See, like, the giant kind of stand up off the bench. That's you're disturbing my pet.
Lumo's gonna go on his tippy toes and like dance away a little bit. Throw it over here.
Why you try to take my place?
I don't want your place. I just need to use it for a little bit until the storm passes. It's a very nice place.
You try to borrow without my permission. That's take.
Is it your land over here? I'm gonna move over here.
You must have brain small, just like small person. Maybe you not understand.
What about the cactus though? Did you want a back scratcher? Let's get back to the back scratching. Looks like you have an itchy back.
It's just kind of like giving you a little of the head tilt, like a dog would. Itchy back.
Luma's going to tiptoe forward a bit more. Yeah, I'm. You know, spot that itches that you just can't quite reach.
See him like moving his arm around, like I can reach all the places I can see.
But there's some spots that I can see that you haven't reached yet.
But hey, you're not making any sense.
Okay, what about water? Do you like water?
No.
All right, well, good. I don't have any. It's just wanted to make sure that we could be friends. I hate water too. See, we have something in common.
Jesus.
Okay. You hate water. Does water hurt you?
It hurts my tongue. It's too hot sometimes.
The water is too hot.
Mm-hmm.
It don't make any sense. How could the water be too hot? The water's not hotter than this fire. And he puts his hand out into the fire. See?
Yeah,
This doesn't hurt, and it's hot. Water hurts, it's not hot like fire.
it's fire is okay because that's a dry heat.
Trying to justify fire.
Dry heat. Fire is not water. How could fire be not what?
How about this? I have some more sand from a different place. Do you like sand?
What do I need with more sand? I have all the sand. This is my sand.
But this is from another place. This is special sand.
What does it do? Can you eat sand?
Yeah, you could. I'm going to pull out my file of Tenerian sand.
You people can eat sand. I don't eat sand.
Oh, well then why do you need this sand then? I'm going to keep this then.
Why do I need that sand? I don't need sand. I has plenty of sand. Man, little people have little thought. I see nothing but sand.
What do you eat then?
What does he see on the spit that's out there?
It looks like some kind of carcass of something. It's a little bigger than somewhere between Lumo size and a horse's size. Somewhere like right in the middle between that. Looks to be charred black. Still just roasted. It's hard to tell if it was reptilian or something like a large crocodile.
Well, if you're not here to trade, then you should just go.
Yeah, not here to trade. Kind of stands, is already standing up, and he turns to walk, take a couple steps away. Hey! I don't go. Why do I go? This is my place.
Quiet down or you're going to disturb the pets.
Oh. Yeah, don't disturb the pets. Hey, those are my pets.
They are. I don't see your name written on them.
My name?
You don't even have a name, do you?
I'm me.
How can you own something if you don't even have a name?
I need a name. This is what to own something. This is my place. I don't own it. It's just mine.
You don't even own this place? Well, whose place is it?
It's my place.
I'm going to start writing my name in the sand. Yeah, with my quarterstaff.
What? Don't touch my pet. What are you doing?
I just put my name in the ground. That means I own it now. You're welcome to stay, though.
Are you like one of those wizards? Are you writing things that'll hurt me?
No, I wouldn't want to hurt you. You're
Get
a
up and
valued
like
tenant.
start tenant. Tenant. Tent? I'm not a tent.
You, you stay here and you look after the place for me. That's what a tenant does, not a tent.
A tent is a place.
See, this is just my name in the ground. It means I own it.
You're trying to confuse me with your name words. I don't like people with their name words.
What do you like?
My place and my pets.
You don't even own a place or pets. They don't have your name on it.
But name. No, hey. Don't need no name.
Can we hear the giant talking about pets?
Yeah. Through the howl of the wind as like stuff is clattering around. Hear this philosophical debate going on the other side of the dune.
This is ridiculous dialogue.
So I tried to do my speak with animals spell.
Okay.
See if I can find the animal he's talking about.
Are you gonna call out to them? Call out to the bed?
Oh, I don't know what it is, so I wouldn't know what to start with.
What does this giant like have on him that I can see?
He's got a large falchion. And little in the way of actual like clothing or armor, like actual armor. He's got very thick, like stone-like skin in a way. Just a couple of wispy bits of cloth like not so much armor, but just wispy cloth that is kind of like tied slightly around his head and kind of crisscrossing across his front. When so Bijou starts trying to, through her magical ability to communicate with different animals,
I say hello in all the animal languages I can think of.
start rotating through like a wide band of languages on the hellos. Not far from your feet, Lumo, off to your right. You can see the sand start to shift quite a bit.
Oh, hey, there's one of your pets.
You disturbed my pet. I told you not to disturb my pet.
It wasn't me. You were being too loud.
No, pets like me.
Are you sure?
Yes. I let them stay in my place.
Well, what if I wanted to be a pet?
I don't like you.
You just met me.
Already don't like you. Try to own my place. Try to take place, then try to own place.
Well, you're getting a little bit too riled up. Let's just sit down and talk about this.
No, you're riled up.
I'm going to take out my decanter and sit on it. Very calmly.
You're...
I'd be careful about stepping on my name, by the way.
He starts to take a step forward again. And then he actually kind of pauses for just a moment. Wizards. The last wizards that came through. They hurt me. Made me do things. You're a wizard.
Well, we don't want to make you do anything. We just want a place to stay for a little bit.
You want to take my place? Want me to go away? Want me to give you own my place?
Here is your choice. You can stay here with us, or you can go.
Roll a persuasion check.
Here goes the ultimatums.
Can I give him my inspiration before he rolls?
You may.
OMG.
Huda! Ooh.
Ooh, that's helpful, maybe. That is a good reroll.
I can stay. Or I can go.
It's your choice.
There's a storm out. I stay. You go.
I'm staying right here. I'm still sitting on my little decanter.
Roll initiative. Man, you got so close twice. Just him, just literally actually he nearly got up and walked away. You told him first time. Rolled so bad.
Don't worry.
If there hadn't been a storm out, he wouldn't have got a second roll and would have just been gone. He would have just got up and walked away. So after your last thing of you're saying you're not leaving, he just starts to kind of make like he's going to start charging at you.
I'm going to say, watch the name, and step a little bit behind my decanter. And I'm going to ready a geyser.
Okay. He kind of steps back, he starts to charge, and he yells out, "Pets! Get the little man!"
I'm going to yell out, "Pets! Get the big man!"
I'm gonna look at everybody else going, what the fuck is he talking about?
Is he talking to us?
I don't know. Does he have pets?
You slowly see the sand begin to disturb several different places around you as as the loose sand kind of quakes off. And then, almost like a mole, you see bits of sand being disturbed as though something is traveling under the ground.
Here comes the Terriers. Out of the other side, sandstorm, one shot.
Call lightning, I suppose. I mean, I heard him threaten Lumo and everything, so I guess diplomacy's over.
I did my best.
So, let me skim this.
I wouldn't say diplomacy's over. I mean, we just have to switch to different methods. To extreme persuasion.
Or we, I mean,
That's
can
the
define
American.
stormy in different ways. Are we in stormy conditions?
There is a dust storm What for call lightning?
Yeah. I'd say probably not. If you are outdoors in stormy conditions when you cast the spell gives you control over the existing storm. I probably didn't intend a dust storm, but
Well,
thought
dust
I'd
storms
ask.
do make static electricity.
Let me look real quick. Very specifically for call lightning, yes.
Yeah.
I think that this would be viable for stormy conditions.
Okay, I added a D10 to it.
He fails.
I'm just going to shake my head.
Okay, alright. You see the sand begin to shift and then actually start to fall in what looks to be some kind of hole or burrow as a large sand spider emerges out of the hole. This is a very large creature. Its legs are spindly and long. It tries to impale you with two of its legs that look to be kind of like hard, pressed into a point towards their tips. It reaches in close to try to bite you. Oh, that did not do something right. Did not half the... No, it did not half the damage. Okay, so give yourself 8 hit points back from the poison.
Wait.
You see, from back behind the giant, some bits of spine begin to emerge, coming up from underneath the sand. Something that you recognize. Something that you all faced in your trial.
Oh, the sandworm thing?
Oh no.
It kind of splashes up. And then back down and buries itself in the sand. Heading in this direction-ish, as it kind of surfaced and then dove back under and burrowed.
And what was that?
The giant sandworm. How we fought them in the arena in the Magistrate's Tower.
I have a scar from them.
Oh yeah, you got hurt pretty bad by in that encounter, if I remember right.
I'm gonna dash with my bonus action.
Okay.
And pull out my +1. No, my shape-changing weapon.
Yeah.
No, wait,
No.
that's a bonus action, isn't it?
It's to change its shape is a bonus action. It's whatever the last thing it was.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to pull out my +1 dagger then.
Okay. Wasn't it a cudgel before when you're beating skeletons?
No, the last thing I would have turned it into was the hand crossbow.
Oh no, that's right. While
I
you
think,
were on the wall.
yeah.
That's right, because you had to go get crossbow bolts.
Yeah.
From down below. Yep. You're correct.
And I have sneak attack because it's right next to Lumo.
That's right. Just real quick, as you were walking over there, what path did you take?
It was basically a straight shot, yeah.
Straight shot?
Yeah, like I skirted around the edge of that dune and then went straight up. Is that okay, or does that change something?
Well, it doesn't change what you did, but something else also happens.
Okay.
You ran right over the edge of one of the spider's burrows. Touching it. Okay, 1 second. So it's going to use its reaction to attack the creature with 2 impaling leg attacks.
2 attacks on a reaction?
That's its special ability. Yep.
Oh man. Okay.
Specifically, if you
You have to walk over its burrow for that to happen. So it's like a trapdoor ambush is what the ability is called.
Right.
If it scores... Ooh.
Ow.
Hurt a lot more than I expected.
Huh.
Okay, so that was it. That was its reaction.
Okay. Good to know.
Just by accident, Lumo missed standing on either one of them by as he is walking around by just this tiny bit. The giant kept warning him not to touch his pets. Bijou is up.
I move to there. I use the cantrip message to say to just the giant so nobody else can hear. But what would your mother say? Leave us be.
Using message? Is that what you said?
Mhm. Yeah.
You see that in response, the desert's gonna like kind of start looking around like crazy, like what's going on? Ah! There are many little people. The little people are all here to take my place.
Yes, now I'm going to take it.
See a second sandworm emerge and submerge a couple of times across its journey in this general direction.
Bijou starts to whimper a little bit.
You see the giant kind of striding, like as it's starting to charge, and you can see it kind of pause, especially with the message in its head, as especially where you had written your name in the ground. It's just kind of run around. In a pretty hefty sack that's like a giant potato sack pretty much, that's hanging from one of those wispy bits of cloth tied around its almost like a sash. There's this sack that's hanging from it. He reaches in and he pulls out a rock from the sack, and then he throws the rock at you.
Okay.
Wisdom check. Lumos took a sanctuary on him. Probably should have mentioned it in the spider, but I forgot.
Sanctuary. Okay, yeah. So, what is the? That's right.
Okay. Any creature who targets the warded Walumo with an attack or harmful spell must first make a Wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature must choose a new target or lose the attack or spell.
That would have been helpful. Could have been helpful.
Okay, so
Nope, wasn't helpful.
the giant rolled a natural 20 on his wisdom save, but the spiders am I can undo. And your DC is 16?
I don't know.
Okay, so I roll spider 17, 7, 16. I think we had hit, miss, hit already, so if you're a DC 16, those 2 hits would stay hits. So would the giants for now, but that's good to know for the future. They roll really well at the right time.
Yeah, now the giant's wise.
It's not smart, but it is wise.
I've got Anyway,
It's got street smarts, just not book smarts.
yeah. Okay, let's just move on.
That was for the deflect thing.
Missiles.
I think that's working right. That plus that plus that. Yep.
That's one way to do it. Let's say the giant is wise, but he did roll a natural 20 on his roll. That's what happened on that.
Oh no, it's fine. It was really an ironic musing. That's all.
All right, so wisping around with the wind itself, coming, kind of thrusting itself outside of the sand as it's coming up from underneath. It kind of blends into some of the wind and dust being spun around. Is what looks to be just a silhouette sheathed itself in its own like little storm cloud, its own little dust storm. Okay, so it needs to make a wisdom saving throw to attack. Ooh, and it does not succeed. It said for every attack? Sanctuary says for every attack, right?
Yeah, it's I can recheck. It's just for a minute until the spell ends,
Okay.
and it's not a concentration. So
See that it approaches Lumo, but it just kind of hovers there in front of him, not seeming to take any action.
Oh boy.
Are we doing re-rolls for initiative on this fight?
It's on. Yes, it's currently turned on.
Okay, was just curious.
So these dunes, are they difficult terrain?
Exceedingly so. Like, they are very steep up the side. It would be
Okay.
one of those things that it'd be difficult to climb. Not even if, like, it would be a climb, and it would be a difficult climb, because as you tried to find any purchase on anything with the steepness of it, that it would, you know, like sticking your hand in to dig in would actually cause it to move and shift on the wall itself.
Mm-hmm. Trying to use lightning lure.
Okay. Luring.
And he succeeded.
He got a 9 plus 5. Yeah, he got 14 against 14. He rolled exactly the minimum needed.
Ew. And that was my action. I'm using my bonus action to move up towards him. Dash.
And Izzy's up first.
Heyo.
Okay, I'm gonna move to the other side of the spider. And then I'm gonna use...
Say, technically, yeah, to say, because that one doesn't technically have a reaction left, because it hasn't been its turn yet. The spider 8 that you moved away from. It won't.
I also, unless it has a reach, I also wasn't right up against it either.
It does have reach.
Yeah, okay, there you
Thank
go. Okay, so draw the shape-shifting weapon,
Okay.
and I'm gonna turn it into a cutlass, a red cutlass if I can.
All right.
And then I'm just going to make one attack because that has used my bonus action.
That's right. With advantage.
Okay.
Due to the flanking. Hit it. And say at this point you have neatly severed a couple of its legs, and it's having a hard time maintaining its balance.
Okay. I am going to aim at the ground at my feet
Okay.
and say, geyser. And I want to soak the area around me in water.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll let you decide the size of that. It's 30 gallons, so I really don't know how to.
Bathtub full.
Mm-hmm. And then I will use a key and go into dodge action.
At least you guys can all feel safe in the world knowing that I'm still at the bottom of the order. Oh, I'm not. Oh, shit.
Spoke too soon.
I scrolled down just a little bit.
So it's gonna geyser down. A good bit of that's probably gonna splash up. So Lumo, roll me 3d4 into the chat. You can see that silhouette hidden in the dust cloud is some of the water itself. Kind of latches onto the dust that is part of its form and mats it, weighs it down so that it hits the floor below it. You can see that it is noticeably affected by that.
Everyone, pull out your decanters.
Water fight.
This spider that, just stuck 2 legs effectively out of its burrow, kind of now to stab at Izzy. It's not going to pull the rest of its body up out of the burrow and just kind of clitter around and see that Steen's up on it. It's going to try to turn and attack Steen.
Don't do it. What? Do I have a higher AC? Oh, yeah. 'Cause
Or shield together?
is my shield together?
That would be the only. Do you have your set it?
Yep. It hits.
Okay, yeah.
Beats my AC by 1.
So it's going to try to impale you and effectively break off your ability to escape by kind of trying to pierce you from either side, pincering you kind of in spot, as it then, with its maw, tries to go in for a bite. Oh, you rolled a 1. You rolled a 1.
I'm gonna let him re-roll that.
I'm going to re-roll that.
Oh, but yeah, he can do that also. Yeah, his ability
Oh, he can do that?
is indomitable. How many? Once per short rest, or?
I think it's once per long rest.
Maybe let me do it then?
Yeah, or argue over who takes away the ability, but
Okay.
you will succeed at the second one though.
I'll use the Lux.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the re-roll. You saw silly.
Alright, it's gonna be here. I need another D4 in the chat, Bob.
That's all.
Okay, and then it needs to make. You can see the clearly ticked off silhouette begin to spin violently, and as it does, it throws its sand into almost its own little dust devil of storm in huge radius around it. It becomes a giant cloud of rolling dust and sand filled with frightening shapes. As it goes nova. Is it 60 feet? I can't remember.
What?
What? What? What's this?
Could have sworn I just heard him use the word Nova.
Nova? I don't like this.
So
Oh.
it kind of dissipates into this giant cloud. A creature that starts its turn inside the cloud must choose whether to close its eyes and be blinded until the start of its next turn, or keep its eyes open and make a wisdom saving throw. If the saving throw fails, the creature is frightened for 1 minute.
Okay.
Oh. Well, at least I don't have a negative on my wisdom saving throw.
The name of that ability is Haunted Haboob.
Am I in the circle?
Yep.
Yup.
So you must choose to either close your eyes and be blinded, or to leave them open and attempt to be and potentially be frightened. All the scary visage of shapes and things that are flying throughout. It's almost a haunting inside of this storm cloud.
I'll see if I'm frightened.
Okay. Roll a wisdom saving throw.
You'll have to roll for me.
Should be with advantage, probably.
Her being a gnome.
Yeah. Freaking gnomes.
Even the first one's a success anyway, so don't have to worry about that. And so and then you are turning into a giant scorpion. Okay.
Oh. Very,
And attack a sandworm if I can.
Both the sandworms are currently burrowed. There are there's two spiders you can get to. Definitely one you can get to for sure.
I want to go the direction of the sandworms.
You're not exactly sure where they are because they kind of exactly. You just know where they dove under and what direction they were going when they dove under.
Then direction towards one. I think one was towards the northeast, right?
Yeah, north. It was kind of up near the campfire, and it was heading southeast of the campfire, so that'd be kind of northish of you.
Then that direction, if I walk past a spider to get them, if not ready an attack for the sandworm.
So you can move 40 feet as a giant scorpion. Just move you 40 feet north. And then if you see one, you're basically readying an action to attack one if you see it. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. Next you see a bit of sand disturbed as one of the sandworms emerges from underneath you. Trying to clamp onto you with its spines. As it comes up from underneath you, the spines close on you like a big Venus flytrap, trapping you into the cage on its back. This guy was attacking Lumo last. Got hit by Izzy in the back. Let's see if it switches over. It does not. So since it's fighting Lumo, it needs to make a wisdom.
So just before you do the wisdom thing, it says sanctuary ends if I use a spell on, or attack or a spell on an enemy. I tried to use it on the ground, but it seemed to affect an enemy, so I'm not sure how you want to roll that.
I think I'm okay with that. Neither one was technically defined as an attack or a spell, even though it had negative repercussions to them.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I stopped reading that far.
Or ability for that. Okay, so it makes its first save.
Man, what disadvantage roll that? Jeez.
16.
Bitch.
And then the next save. What is happening right now? It rolled a 16 again. So it rolled a 16 for its save, double 16 for the attack with disadvantage, and 16 again.
Hacks.
Rigged.
Correct.
So it did hit with the second. Or,
Guys,
no,
look.
it hasn't hit yet. Never mind.
Back.
Welcome back.
Yay.
There we go. So the second one misses, and then it's going to go in for the bite. And it fails its save horribly. Okay. second sandworm, with her moving 40 feet due north, actually put her right next to the sandworm, even though unbeknownst to her, just knew that was a decent area. The sandworm itself, sensing the presence above it, is going to attempt to emerge, clasping the scorpion inside of its spines, while she would also simultaneously get a reaction to try to for her readied action. So, okay, so let me make sure I give that to her. Go ahead and make your attack.
And it's grappled.
Mm-hmm. So you have clasped onto one of its spines that have emerged. Now we'll see if it can, while you're holding on to it, if it will close on to you. I guess. As its cage closes.
Do I just use the one claw?
For a readied action, yeah, you don't get the multi-attack unless it's a special ability specifically, like the one the spiders have.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Giant Scorpion, natural 20s. The dex save, so would not be restrained. You have firmly grappled onto it. The question I have, though, is what if it just starts swimming away?
Whee!
I guess it'd be a strength save on the scorpion.
Yeah, I'm checking to
To
see what
see
the
if
grapple
he-
condition says exactly, because I always forget the exact wording.
Well, grapple means you can't move away, right? Like, doesn't that reduce your speed to 0, or am I thinking of restrained?
Restrained. Okay, so grapple does the creature's speed becomes 0, and it can't benefit from bonus. Yeah, so it can't move. Condition ends if the grappler is incapacitated. Condition also ends if the effect removes the grapple creature from the reach of the grappler. Or so, yeah, okay, so something like Thunderwave knocking you away would stop the grappling. Restrained is also becomes 0, and then restrained also have attack rolls against them have advantage, and then while you're restrained, your attack rolls have disadvantage. So that's the difference. So grapple, they both have speed 0. So yeah, with the speed of 0, it's going to just try to bite you and sting you, I think. And the flip of its tail over the top jabs its stinger. Oh yeah, it stinks. So, oh, this is what happened to Bijou. That's what it was. It's because of the stinger poison is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The
I
scorpion,
have a scar.
Scorpions are not, for
resistant to poison or anything, are they? I don't see that.
Who took it away? I don't know.
Ooh, that is a lot.
2d6 plus 7d6. That makes a lot.
Jeez, nuggets.
Okay, so going painfully slow through these turns, but I'll try to speed my side of this up a little bit. Carl, it's your turn. You are right on the edge of the Dust's Nova ability here, I guess.
So same options as before. Can I just close my eyes and do this and open them?
Yeah, no problem.
I want to use my divinity thing, destructive wrath. So that's just 40 points of damage towards that guy.
Just 40? Oh, yeah, because
Max.
it maximizes the 40-10. Yeah. And he failed the save, so it gets blessed with all that. 40. Okay.
Saying.
Okay.
So
You can see that he's a pretty hardy creature in general, being a giant and all, but that hurt. I mean, that hurt a lot.
So being restrained means I can't do anything except for try to get out, right?
You can still make attacks, but they are made with disadvantage. Attacks against you have advantage against you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna cast Earth Tremor.
Okay, we're Earth Tremoring. Alrighty then.
Son of a gun! I didn't mean to do it to myself.
Yeah, well, just untarget yourself.
I like how you're the only one that failed it.
Oh, you're the only one that failed. The Wyrm rolled a natural 20, and it only has a +1. So that was very unlucky for you.
I dropped an 18. Oh.
It wouldn't matter because it wouldn't target you anyway, right?
No.
So what happens on the failed save for Earth Tremor? I mean, on the successful save, anything?
Nothing. They were strong enough to not take, or nimble enough to not take any damage. But it is now difficult terrain. Unless you don't consider sand loose earth.
Oh yeah, for the people that no, this is loose earth or stone. So this would be difficult terrain around you for anything that doesn't treat.
Yep.
That stuff is not, or whatever. And if they have your ability to not treat it as difficult terrain.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I got you.
And I think because I'm a warcaster, I can attack still.
Is Earth Tremor a cantrip?
Oh shit. Nope.
I don't think you get that until like level 14 or something.
Unless is it only for the. Is it only if you do a cantrip? Do you get to do the follow-up bonus action attack? Or is it if you cast any spell? What's the ability say? Yeah, use your action to cast a cantrip specifically.
Yep. Wah wah. And now I have to make my wisdom saving throw, or I had to do that before first, so.
Be
or close my eyes. Yeah, I'm just gonna close my eyes. Close my eyes and then Earth Tremor. Because why couldn't I stop the ground? Yep. And that's the end of my turn. Earth Giant's turn. I'm just, being hugged by a worm and hit by a spider. This is National Geographic. Gone wrong.
Okay, so especially seeing that geyser of water, this dude is not wanting to get near any of that happening.
Don't tell me he's gonna throw another rock.
Yeah, I think that's what he's gonna try to throw another rock at.
So it's only enemies that have to make the save. It's not everything.
Double checking right now, actually. He's gonna keep his eyes closed. Try to throw a rock at Lumo. So first he has to make the save. Oh my goodness, so many effects. So what is he doing? Why is he don't attack yourself?
Yeah, he really he closed his eyes. This is what happens when you throw rocks, and sometimes you drop it mid-throw and hit yourself in the head.
He way doesn't make his save. And top of the order, random reordering. Wait, no, not Lumo's.
Stupid spider needs to close his eyes this time. All 8 of them.
Yeah.
No peeking with one eye.
They probably have tremor sense anyway.
Do you think? Maybe the worms do.
The spiders definitely do. Yeah. And they're closing their eyes, but they have tremor sense.
I just figured if they could tell when somebody walked over their burrow, then yeah.
Okay, let's start with the save. This one's going for Lumo still. Oh, girl 16. Oh, then 15, not good enough. And then for the bite, natural 1. So it didn't do much.
Yay.
The sandworm. They have massive tremor sense. Up to 120 feet tremor sense. That's insane. That's huge. It's going to... lash out with its stinger. Oh my god. I rolled a 3 and a 5 on the advantage.
I'm not complaining.
And then it's going to start to burrow.
No! No! I disagree with this burrowing thing. It's not favorable to my health.
You feel yourself being tugged forward as you're drug underground.
Great. Great. I know I kind of am like a rock, but taking it too far.
So as you start, as you can feel the earth around you start to, actually collapse in as you're going below and below the surface. You disappear below. What do you do right before you disappear below?
Try to what am I limited to?
I mean, you're restrained in place, so you don't really get any actions or anything, but just in general, you're about to go below Earth. I mean, certain options like take a deep breath would probably be a good one.
Yeah, I was gonna try something way cleverer than hold my breath, but I think hold my breath is all I got. Don't have to worry about closing my eyes; they're already closed.
Yeah, you are actually technically out of the effect of the dust storm.
Hey, yeah, by being buried under the dust. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna take a deep breath. Going on an adventure, boys.
You feel some of the spiraling sand and dirt coalesce into something solid. You almost feel like you get punched from the side, even though there wasn't anything tangible there other than this massive swirling dust cloud. Okay, let's see if it... Save again. And it fails with a natural 1. Scorpio. Latched onto the sandworm, preventing it from going places.
Yep, got it again. Now let go with the first hand and hit him with it again.
Bishu's getting her revenge.
It fails on its saving throw. Yeah, it hit pretty good. Anything else?
No, that's all I have. But I don't know if scorpions clack or hiss, but it's making a lot of racket.
I don't actually know
Not happy.
what sound scorpions make. I'm not in the know there.
YouTube's videos didn't help, so.
What does the scorpion say?
So I guess with all this stuff flying around after walking through the desert and all the blowing sand, Izzy's instinct is going to be to shut her eyes.
Okay.
And then just kind of lash out with her weapons at the spider that was just in front of her.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have advantage with Lumu on the other side, but that cancels out because my eyes are closed, so it's just a straight roll, right?
That seems legit to me. Yeah. There we go.
But I still get sneak attack.
Mm-hmm.
Ta-da!
Lopped off another limb, and so it's got only got 5 legs left. It's kind of hobbling around.
So when I feel I make contact, I just kind of leave my blade in it for a minute, just so I can have something to aim at with the other one, and then I pull them both out.
Okay. First off, leaving the eyes open.
Eyes open. Wisdom saving throw.
This is against fear.
Yeah.
Okay, so I get the advantage. Halfling bravery.
Mm-hmm. Very brave are the halflings. Lucky and brave.
One begets the other.
Yeah, you are. That is clearly brave enough. Oh.
Drop to 1. Ah.
It did fail. Let's say the spider itself was already kind of wavering with only having, a handful of its legs left, and most of them being removed from the rear, so it's kind of very off balance. So it's kind of just clattering around, just trying to stay upright.
Alright, I'm gonna go after the radiant, or not the radiant. Go after the sand silver.
Okay. Yeah, so sanctuary now would definitely be gone.
Oh yeah. I cannot get rid of that one. Must be the only card can get rid of it.
Maybe can you get rid of that one? I don't know.
So yeah. The damage.
I don't know how to remove things.
If you click the picture of the head with the several dots over it, brings up the effect list. Oh, from the combat tracker itself, that is. Do it for Lumo. Yeah, sweet. Okay, we are stunning some fools. Natural 20 on his roll against that save.
Let's stun this guy. There we go.
Stunned.
When I did that, did I notice the storm start to dissipate?
So I'm actually looking to see. all the dust and violence from the wind itself die down. And the dust itself, just wherever it was, just kind of drops to the ground, ending the effect.
Okay, well, with them both stunned, let's try and go after this guy again. Ah, there we go.
Yay! Oh,
Good enough.
On the money, good enough, I think. Yeah, that's it. To the hit point.
Snake Eyes wouldn't have done it.
Izzy hears a thud in front of her and just cracks one eye open.
And then the flurry that was happening, the storm around is still impending, but the effect from that particular silhouette is dissipated. It's gone.
But
now-
maintain holding my breath and prepare to gasp for air as soon as he breaks surface. I can try to escape.
So you're gonna ready a escape action, if you will.
Yeah.
Try to break the restraint.
As soon as I am able to. I'm kind of underground, so
I mean, the earth is kind of flittering by as you're, as he's burrowing in. So you could try to do it, but it'd be harder to do it underground to break the restraint. That is.
figure I can hold my breath for
Should be a couple rounds at least. Yeah.
Yep.
You see that spider fall, and then you can see the giant itself roars with anger. No, you kill Pet! And with caution to the wind, he's gonna charge in. Swinging the mighty falchion twice. The first one you deftly evade. The second one, as he makes his backswing, you try to dodge out of the way, anticipates, clacking you right in the side. Just kind of bends over right in your face and just like screams right at you.
I'd say he's big enough that I can hit him with lightning and it not hit Lumo.
I think that's totally correct.
Gonna do the exactly same as before. Destructive Wrath. Do it twice.
Use your last. You get 2 of those channel divinities, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
$40 damage.
40. With this, you can see him start to become somewhat ragged. He would be technically have the heavy damage condition right now, passing halfway mark.
Yeah, just move a little bit closer.
Just notice Lumo only has 1 hit point left. And if he hadn't rolled 3 1s on those d4s.
so this one is... Oh, this is the one up here, not the one in Steam. Okay. This one is going to try... It's being grappled onto by with its spines. It's going to try to lash out at the scorpion with its stinger. The stinger slams into it and the poison just nearly bursts through the wound where it pierces the scorpion. The damage itself carries over 26 points onto Bijou as the scorpion transforms back into the little gnome.
I hang on to that little horn or whatever I have. There you go.
Gonna charge after Izzy. Now that its prey that it was originally attacking has been removed from it. Oh, natural one. Second impaling leg again tries to cage you in so that it can lurch forward for its bite. Oh, Max. Max.
Let's uncanny dodge that one.
Okay. That
So
would
it's
be
half
not,
damage.
take 9 back. Or add 9. Or subtract 9 from your wounds, rather. That was max. That was no good. And it's gonna reach. It's gonna go for the bite. Ooh, missing. The top of the round is up. Car goes first.
Motherfucker's lucky. Just see that the new Warcraft cinematic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going full Anduin right now. Mass cure wounds on Wolfen, Izzy, and Lumo.
What's the range on that? Is it
60 feet? No. Well, hold on. Within 30 feet. I can cast it 6. Okay, I could have done this differently. I can cast it within 60 feet away. But,
then it's 30-foot radius within this point.
30-foot radius. So, yeah, let me, I'm just going to move me. Hold on. Oh, well, no, I'm still good here.
Yeah, so you're trying to hit. Who all are you hitting again?
Izzy, Lumo, Wolf, and Bijou.
Okay, yeah, you can hit. Yeah, you should be able to hit everybody.
Yeah.
You have to be able to see them.
Yeah, is Wolfen underground?
Yeah, he's underground, so you might not be able to get him. That's us double checking here.
30-foot sphere centered on that point. Does not say I have to see them for mass cure wounds. Mass healing word, you have to see them.
Not mass cure wounds. Yeah, so choose up to 6 creatures in a 30-foot radius sphere. Yep, go ahead.
Nice.
Oh wait,
Wait.
not the same. No, not the same one.
He's not wounded.
Yeah, I don't. That Wolfen, that's yours. If you could take that from the sandworm.
Okay.
And
It
add
was
20.
not wounded, so or was it wounded?
was it?
Yeah, one sandworm has been hurt, but this one has not. So okay, so that's fine. But yeah, so heal yourself for 27.
Alright.
Okay. All right, good deal.
And just bonus action.
Elmo was probably thanking you a little bit there. Man, if you hadn't been Trixie, with that water and the name stuff, that giant had been all up in your face, swinging at you this whole time. That would have been bad.
Mm-hmm.
Izzy.
Okay, we're gonna do some stuff. So for my action, I'm going to use my panache feature against the giant.
Okay, alright. We're going to be extra persuasive.
So if it's hostile to me, it has a different effect than a friendly creature. So
Correct.
I make a charisma persuasion check contested by its wisdom insight. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cutlass and kind of hoist it up in the air and say, he might have killed it, but I'm going to eat it, and I'm going to slice a big chunk off the spider. That's going to be my persuasion.
Are you persuading it to come kill you?
Basically. Okay, so what happens if it fails its check? It will have disadvantage on attack rolls against targets other than me and can't make opportunity attacks against targets other than me at all. The effect lasts for 1 minute until one of your companions attacks it or affects it with a spell, or until I'm more than 60 feet away from it.
Alright, okay. So, make your
So
attack
I have to roll
on
a
the scorpion
persuasion.
first. No, not scorpion, on
Oh,
the
okay.
spider, on the spider first. Because that's part of your, like...
Oh, I was slicing at the dead one, because this is an action, so I don't actually get an attack on this turn.
Oh, you're not doing the bonus action. Okay.
No, this is all just for flavor.
Okay. No, I'm with you. Alright, go ahead and do it then. Let's do your persuasion roll. Ooh, and it's really good too.
So he has to roll a wisdom insight.
And if it's hostile, then the persuasion is basically a taunt.
Pretty much.
Okay. That roll's pretty decent, but not to 30. And so,
Okay.
yeah, he, you can see that, he's super pissed off now. Fuming mad.
So I'm gonna then disengage from my bonus action,
Okay.
and I'm gonna friggin' book it.
Okay.
And that's all the things I can do.
Was that thing not stunned no more? Ah,
Oh
lame.
wait, no, it's still sun. Sorry. Is it still sun? Its effects are gone, but it's until
Yeah,
your turn. So no, it's still stunned.
Yeah, if the rolling initiative, that's a bit harder.
It's still until the end of your turn. Just but Fantasy Grounds have never done that right with the
Nope.
with the stun thing. Okay, so Steen, the sandworm has not yet.
I'm gonna try.
Gonna try to break from the restrained effect. Okay, so
Yep.
this would be a. I believe this is a strength only. Since you're underground at this point, I need you to make a strength check. Not athletics, just a strength check.
Yeah. Worst possible.
Well, yeah, that's pretty bad. Yep, you are still restrained. I need you to roll a d100. As you're underground. Okay, yeah, so you do not panic and use up extra breath or do anything silly, like trying to breathe the ground or anything.
Breathe the ground.
Alright, so. With its tremor sense in full, it knows that something took off sprinting across the battlefield.
Who, me?
Maybe. It's going to come forward and open up its spines for just a moment to try to wrap around you as you sprint around. And since it can, so it will technically release the restrained from Steen, but it's coming up. It's kind of like opening it up as it's emerging straight upward. So even though it removes this the restrained effect, it's going to try to clamp both of you into its spine. Do the stupid thing. Okay. Steen is not the most dexterous. Unable to react fast enough as it opened up in his brief window of freedom.
I do a dex save.
I'm re-rolling my save, sir.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
Oh, wow. I give up.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. Do you have, as a rogue, do you have something to do against dex saves? I'm trying to think. Only the spell, only the evasion,
Only to avoid damage.
To avoid damage.
Yeah, I
Wait,
did take disengage. I don't know if that would do anything because it. No, because that's only for opportunity attacks.
Mm-hmm. You have your zappy ring, but that's only an action. Okay.
That's after.
Yeah. So for at least a moment. You are both restrained. Right. This thing is making bright lights. Spiders don't like that, so it's going to go attack the thing. It's going to-
Thunderous
rebuke.
rebuke.
Okay, yep. Yes. It failed. Alright, and it's knocked 10 feet away, is that right?
Hold on, let me.
Might have enough movement to still get back to you if that's the case, but I can't remember if that did anything else, if it knocked them 10 feet
Yeah.
away.
Not necessarily that, but my 10 feet away, my thunderbolt strike, which I mean any lightning damage I've done.
Yeah, so you did the lightning damage, and then it knocks it 10 feet away.
Yeah.
Okay, so it moved. Okay, yeah, so it has enough. It can still get. It can still get back. It, however, does not have its thematics of being able to do the double piercing thing around to try to cage you in as it goes for its regular bite. It's just kind of leaping forward. I'm going to try to do it. Spiders bite and venom. You can feel it course through your vein as it burns. Alright, Bijou.
Okay. I pull up my orator and I cast the polymorph spell saying, "Darn you, you evil creature," and I try to turn it into a turtle.
Okay. Turning it into a turtle. Okay.
Or tortoise, because that lives in the desert, right?
Could turn it into a fish and have it even worse luck.
Oh no! It rolled a natural 20.
If she turned it into a fish,
It would
And-
die and become back.
yeah, but it didn't technically take any damage. Would it just die or would it revert?
Suffocates?
I mean, because I thought of a fish first, but if it dies, it goes back to the sandworm.
Turn it into a chicken?
No, it was just a point of curiosity. I'm sorry. Continue.
I don't.
I mean, it probably takes a couple turns to suffocate.
Yeah, it's I don't know, like, by definition, if it's suffocating, if it takes damage. Like, I bet there's like suffocation damage or something. I don't know, something like that. That's what it really does. It just die, choke and suffocate for a bit. But unfortunately, at least at the immediate moment, we will not be able to find out, as the sandworm rolled a natural 20 against the save.
Unless I can use a bardic inspiration.
Can you?
I don't know.
Reduce the save of something else? Don't. You have your cutting words to reduce something's attack or damage, but not.
Alrighty.
Yeah, it doesn't do saves. It does ability checks, it does attacks or damage, but it doesn't do saves. For the cutting words, at least. It is Lumo's turn.
Alright, well, I'm gonna keep on going after Swirly McGee.
Okay.
He's still stunned, so advantage.
Yeah, he's still stunned to the end of your turn.
Yeah. Let's try another thing. Oh, damn.
Oh, it rolls a natural 20. What the hell?
Do you want to send some of those nat 20s over our way?
Loaded dice.
Yeah.
Well, that was a natural 1. We rolled this one out of nowhere. For no reason.
Okay, never mind.
We are stunning a game.
Boo, Aaron. Yeah, just one more.
For the bonus, just the regular bonus.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
To the dome.
Thing.
Rolled a 20, a 15, and a 19. Across his 3 saves. It only has a +3, which, I mean... That's the way the dice fall.
What was the effect of that panache again?
It has disadvantage on attacks against anybody but her.
It has disadvantage on attack rolls on anyone other than me, and can't make opportunity attacks on anyone other than me.
Okay, well, 23 is good.
Getting out.
That'll do.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I want to get to the top of the round, and then we'll call it there since Car's got to go. Let's see if anybody dies with the giant's attacks. How far away are you?
Probably not far enough at this point.
Yeah, I mean, if we could maybe, I don't think we can finish in another 2 rounds.
No, this is not 2 rounds of combat.
Now the sandworm they have a bunch of hit points, so it's just going to take time to whittle them down. Once you get past this threat.
Okay, question. If he attacks us and we're technically, like, surrounded by this sandworm's spines, does he also hit the sandworm?
I mean, not technically, no.
Okay.
Because even the sandworm himself has can attack, but it uses its stinger to poke in.
Right. Okay.
Of course it will, but yeah, I mean, this is slashing, which doesn't make as much sense.
I just wasn't sure how enclosed we are when you described it as like a Venus flytrap.
Yeah, it's more like a cage, you know, like behind bars, so to speak.
Right, okay.
And you may want to uncanny dodge this.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Let's see.
Yeah, we're gonna uncanny dodge that one.
12 hit points back. The sandworm, having effectively destroyed the scorpion and turned it back into the little Bijou, is going to turn and try to bite and sting. Bijou the stinger makes solid contact.
Alright, I cast Cutting Words and I say, I'd call you a pile of dung, but you lack the warmth and depth.
And so you're going to try to reduce its attack on the stinger
Yeah.
attack? Okay. So roll your... Is it a D8? For your current Bardic Inspiration level? Is it D8 or D10?
No. I don't know where it's hiding, sorry.
A D10 is at 10th level, so yeah. So next level it'll go up to a D10, but right now it is a D8. Roll a D8, reduce it by 8. The stinger, your magically cutting word, even though it doesn't really understand everything that you're saying. Wait, no, you have Speak with Animals on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
It knows exactly what I said.
It does it is off-put by the fact that it understands what you say. And the stinger clashes into the ground right next to you, missing you. And we'll have to call it there, I think, for now.
Did you give me my 8 hit points back?
That was for the stinger, not for the.
Okay.
So yeah, what it did is you reduce the attack of the stinger from a 19 minus 8, made it miss so
Nice.
it never rolled damage
Okay.
for it.
Which is probably much better.
And 8 hit points because
Yep. Bijou's way dead. Woo!
because that would have been the hit if it had hit.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That was also really high numbers, but I rolled a bunch of 5s.
Funny thing is, I'm zoomed in far enough to where I was like, "Where the fuck did Bijou or Lumo go?"
Oh, he's way. He ran away. What he said he was gonna do. Shit gets bad, he's running away. All right, well, we'll go ahead and call it there, and then we'll pick back up.
Oh, the RP was really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.